You have 15 seconds to snag your reader's attention. What do? If your introduction doesn't draw him or her in, they'll stop reading. You must hook your reader. Today you'll learn the 3 parts to an introduction: the hook, the sneak peek, and your thesis, also known as claim plus reasons. Today I'm going to use some mentor text to guide you through the writing process of creating a hook. Our objectives are to identify 5 different strategies for developing hooks. We're going to analyze these mentor texts and determine how authors hook a reader's attention. We're going to develop hooks using various strategies. And then, finally, you're going to consult with a peer to decide on which hook that you created was the best one that you should use in your writing. We've already talked about the beginning of your essay needing to hook your readers and make them want to read more. There are some strategies for developing a hook. Here they are. A brief story, where you share a story related to the topic. Now, we don't want it to be too long. A quote. Maybe you can find an interesting quote that explains how it relates to the topic. Drop the reader into the scene. This helps the reader imagine that he or she is in a situation related to that topic. A surprising fact. Share a fact that gets your reader interested. Rhetorical question. It's a question designed to get your reader thinking, not necessarily to answer you. Tell the reader, this is not for you, but not really, it totally is. Share something personal. You could also tell a joke. We're not going to talk about all of these strategies for developing a hook, just the most common ones. Here's an example of a hook where you tell a brief story. Edgar Madison Welch from Salisbury, North Carolina, drove to Washington, D.C. with a plan. On April 4th, 2019, he broke into Comet Pizza and dumped all of their pizza-making ingredients on the floor. His motive? He'd read an article online that said Comet Pizza was spreading COVID-19 through their pizza. This incident caused panic, and Comet Pizza lost business because of fake news. How did this strategy help catch the reader's attention? This strategy is an example of using a quote. The problem with quotes on the internet is that it's very hard to verify their authenticity. Abraham Lincoln. Source: the internet. How did this strategy help catch the reader's attention? This is an example of dropping the reader into the scene. You're sitting at home scrolling through your Instagram, like your best friend's new recent selfie, and you come across an article. Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez tie the knot. You instantly share it, wanting all your friends to see this new celebrity gossip. Since it's on a news site, you assume it's true and reliable. This is how fake news spreads. How did this strategy help catch the reader's attention? This next example uses a surprising fact. A recent study proved what many have suspected for years. People aren't taking the time to confirm that the information they share on social media is true. In fact, they aren't even reading it at all. 59% of all articles shared on social media are passed on before the reader even gets past the first headline. No wonder fake news is becoming a major problem in our country and across the world. How did this strategy help catch the reader's attention? Let's check your thinking. So in this article, an opinion article, Let's Learn to Love Leftovers and Fight Food Waste, we need to find out if it's a brief story, a quote, drops the reader into the scene, a surprising fact, or uses a rhetorical question. Obviously, this was a surprising fact. It's checked out onto the side, but let's see what was surprising about it. There's nothing like Thanksgiving leftovers, and I mean there's nothing like 'em. While we Americans are rock stars with post-Thanksgiving turkey melts, Day 3 turkey quiche, and maybe even Day 4 turkey salad, we simply refuse to tap our culinary creativity any other time of the year. Instead, we toss as much as 400 pounds of food per person per year. Do you see how this strategy helped to catch the reader's attention? In this story, we know it's a rhetorical question. So let's see how they use this strategy to catch the reader's attention. Opinion. U.S. schools do not focus enough on gym. What is the only school subject that engages a child's mind, body, and spirit while simultaneously promoting physical and emotional health? What subject helps students learn better and cultivate character? And what subject is consistently underfunded, understaffed, and underscheduled? If your answer to all three questions is physical education, you deserve an A grade. In this next article, they drop the reader into the scene. Let's find out how they got that done. Icebergs can be surprisingly colorful. Picture an iceberg. You'll probably envision something white as snow, rising out of a blue sea. But icebergs can be all sorts of shades. They can be from a frosty blue to striped to a beguiling green. Their smaller counterparts have cute names. They're called bergy bits. They're also called growlers. Do you see how this strategy helped to catch the reader's attention? This next strategy uses two strategies. They tell a brief story and they use a rhetorical question. Let's try it out. Opinion. Bite-sized tips for handling Halloween candy. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. As a child, I looked forward all year to dressing up and going trick-or-treating. I still love putting on costumes and carving pumpkins. But as much as I love the holiday, it also has its share of detractors. There's plenty of debate about whether parents should limit their kids' access to Halloween activities and candy in the name of fending off a lifetime of sugar cravings, or let them eat their fill. With childhood obesity on the rise, many parents eager to limit added sugar in their children's diets. Which approach is best for helping kids learn healthy eating habits? Do you see how they told a brief story and use a rhetorical question to catch the reader's attention? This next example, they've also used two strategies. They use a quote and they drop the reader into the scene. Opinion. Why these friendly robots can't be good friends to our kids. Jibba the robot rotates around when it hears its name and tilts its touchscreen face up toward at you. I am a robot, but I am not just a machine, it says. I have a heart. Well, not a real heart, but feelings. Well, not human feelings. You know what I mean. How did this strategy help to catch the reader's attention? They used both a quote and dropping the reader into the scene. Today, you are going to write 3 different hook strategies. For each, use a strategy to write a hook related to the topic of your writing piece. You can use brief story, a quote, dropping the reader into the scene, a surprising fact, a rhetorical question, or any of the others that you want to give a try. Again, these are rough drafts, so give 3 different hook strategies a try. When you're finished writing your 3 hook strategies, you'll share these with your small group peer reviewer. They'll give you a rating and say which hook they thought was the best, hook 1, 2, or 3. They'll also explain why they thought it was the best choice, why they got hooked on that particular choice. They'll also give you some suggestions on what you might improve to hook your reader even better. Remember, these are just suggestions. You don't have to use anything that your peer reviewer gives you, but they are here to help improve your writing. Most of this lesson has focused on creating a hook, but there's also a part of your introduction called the sneak peek. This is where you tell the reader what they're going to be learning from you. Most of the time, this is where you'll introduce your claims or subtopics, or the reasons, for the first time, without giving too many details. The details will come later in the body of your writing. For now, we're just introducing your claims. Overall, your introduction should be short. There are no hard, fast rules about how long or short it should be, but 4 to 5 sentences is a reasonable goal. We don't want to make it so long that your reader gets bored and stops reading. Don't waste words. Write lean. Get rid of filler words and phrases. Practice crisp, clean writing to capture your reader's attention. The very last sentence of your introduction is usually your thesis statement. There isn't a hard, fast rule about that. You can put your thesis statement anywhere in your introduction. This is just the usual place. To review, your hook, plus your sneak peek of what your writing is going to be about, plus your thesis statement, is your introduction. That's it. Hook, sneak peek, thesis. Now off you go. Get writing. You have 3 hooks to create today.